My name's Tim Dawson. I am the owner of all of the Dawson Pizzeria group, which is Monarch Pizza, Pioneer Pizza, Panther Pizza, and Wildcat Pizza. Our tagline is we are not just serving pizza, we're serving people and we're serving the community and we're serving our children. We are an independent pizzeria. I'm passionate about people and bringing families and communities together. That's the most important thing to me. Hopefully we can do that with pizza. I want to say that pizza started for me at Monarch Pizza in 2007, but that isn't true. Pizza started for me back when I was 15 years old, and I started working at a place called Don Gino's in Hilliard. And I worked there as a manager there at 15 years of age. 16, I became manager. From there, I went to Backstreet Pizza. I worked at Luigi's Pizza in Hilliard, and I worked at Domino's in Hilliard. All of those pizza places gave me my love for pizza in the business. And it's something that I did until I was 24 years old, and I started at Honda. And so my career at Honda did nothing but enable me to save money and continue to think about my dream. And it kind of came into full fruition back in 2003, 4-ish, when I started to contact a couple of food distributors. And I did get a hold of RDP in Columbus, and they started to send me samples to my house. And what I found was making small batches of dough became very, very difficult. And so I went and I bought a mixer, and I put a special plug in my basement, and that's where I started mixing small batches of dough to come up with the recipe that I use today. Bud Fuller was extremely helpful as a salesperson for RDP. He's still my salesperson today. He would send samples, drop them off on my doorstep while I was at work at Honda. I would come home at night, I would make pizza, and my kids would become my test kitchen and my samplers, and they would tell me, "No, Dad, I hate that. That was terrible." Or they'd say, "No, I really like those pepperonis." And so as we continued to tweak the recipe and get things fine-tuned, I was picking out ingredients along the way. And what I did was I tried to pick out the best pepperoni out of all of them. And I had time to do that. And I think that that's one of the things, one of the advantages that we have in the business today is that I had the time and I had the resources to try all kinds of different pepperonis, all kinds of different sausages and sauces and cheeses to come up with the recipe that I use today. I was in no hurry. It wasn't like I had leased a building and I was ready to take off and I needed to come up with things really quickly. And one of the things that I think that is the most difficult part about the pizza business is the crust. And I came into a couple of problems with the crust and how to get the crust exactly the way that I wanted it. And so one of the things that I did was I sent an email to General Mills. It was the lead chef, Tim Huff was his name, the lead baker and chef at General Mills. And he allowed me to contact him, tell him what I did like about the pizza crust that I was doing, what I didn't like about the pizza crust. And he would tell me, okay, why don't you do this? Why don't you try this? Why don't you add a little bit more sugar? Why don't you add a little bit more salt? Add a little bit more oil? And so when I was able to actually fine tune that recipe, it became more and more apparent to me that I was ready to open up a pizza shop. And so that's what I did. Back in 2006, we leased a space where Kroger Plaza was in Marysville. In October of 2007, we opened Monarch Pizza. Not without problems, because as much as we tried to test recipes and things from home in the basement and in our oven, it was completely different than when you use commercial equipment, restaurant equipment. And we even had some difficulty with the pizza dough. When we're making 5-pound batches of dough, when we switch to 25 and 50-pound batches of dough, it changes things. And so we still needed to tweak a lot of things when we opened up. We had everyone from the family working in the pizza shop, and everyone agreed, all my kids agreed, that we were going to work for free for the first month. And that's what we did. And one of the things backing up that we did was we all sat together as a family, and all of my kids got to vote as to what they wanted to call the pizza place. And there was all kinds of different names. but we decided to call it Monarch Pizza because Marysville Monarchs, the Monarch was the mascot of Marysville High School, and that's where all my kids were, and that's what they wanted to call the pizza shop, and I agreed, and so that's what the name Monarch Pizza, that's where it came from. So we were open up after a month. It was time to, everyone wanted to start getting paid, especially my kids, and it was the only family in the pizza shop at first. I would work at Honda. I would get off work at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I would go right to Monarch Pizza. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we would open up, and we would close at 10 o'clock at night, 11 and 12 o'clock at night on the weekends. And that was what my day was. I would wake up, go to work at Honda, leave Honda, go to the pizza shop, open the pizza shop, roll dough, and make pizzas all night long, and mop, clean up, go home, go to sleep. And so if my kids wanted to spend time with me or they wanted to see me, they would bring their homework up to the pizza shop because that was really the only time that I was home. On the weekends, I would have a little bit of a break in the mornings because I wouldn't be working at Honda. But for the most part, if they wanted to see me and they wanted to spend time with me, they would either be working with me and we'd have a great relationship then because it gave us one-on-one time. But at the same time, the family dynamics and business together was difficult, and it wasn't always easy, and we would get in arguments, and there would be family discussions at the pizza shop while we're supposed to be conducting business. And so it wasn't always easy. And having a home and having all the utilities at home and then adding another business onto that and utilities at the business, I would sometimes forget about a bill. I would forget about electric bill or a water bill, and our water would get shut off at home at times. And besides the fact that sometimes financially it was difficult. It was difficult to start out a business that was never a pizza shop and start selling pizza because not everyone knew what Monarch Pizza was. And so we would start to develop regulars. And one nice thing about being a single pizza shop and me being there every single day was I got to know every one of my customers. And that was a personal experience that we had with those customers. And that was something that I really appreciated, getting to know people, getting to know the community. And it became evident as to why we were doing what we were doing. I knew then that the thing that I wanted to do was not just serve pizza. I wanted to serve the community, and I wanted to get to know the community. I wanted to help the community. And so when they needed something, if they had a function going on in the town, I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be in the concession stands. I wanted to, for the high school sports and things, and it took time to develop those relationships with people. And it wasn't immediate, and we needed patience. And there was a lot of times when everyone wanted to get paid, and it just wasn't possible. We work for free. I work for free. Even today, sometimes I work for free. And that's part of owning a business. And it's not all glamour. And sure, I don't have to clock in and clock out any longer. But it sure is difficult at times too. So 2007, we opened up Monarch Pizza. Time went on, we got stronger, we got better. We were serving pizza to the band. We were serving pizza on Friday on concession stands sometimes. We got develop relationships with the school, and we were able to start getting a little bit of headway. We're starting to break even. We're starting to make a little bit of money. And so what we did from that point forward was we thought, well, I'm gonna open up another pizza shop. One of my friends came along and told me that we were at Uptown Friday night selling pizzas. And he came up and he said, I really have this building in Richwood I'd really like you to come take a look at. And I told him, I said, I do not want to go to Richwood. I'm not interested in Richwood. And he said, no, really, you got to come. You have to come look at the building and come into town. And I finally agreed. I said, okay, I'll come to Richwood and I'll come look at your building. And the first time I drove into Richwood, it was it was a smaller hometown feeling, and I immediately connected with the village of Richwood. And so I went and looked at his building. It was a little bit far off the street, but I told myself, It's a small enough town that everyone will know where we are. It doesn't matter where we are. I worked at a pizza shop in Hilliard. It was called Backstreet Pizza, and it was literally on a back street along a railroad track, and we were very busy. So I knew it doesn't really matter about the location. If you have a good product, people will find you. And so that's what I decided to do. I decided to go ahead and open up and buy that building. And it was a risk because I really didn't know if there was enough people in Richwood to support the pizza shop. They already had 2 other pizza shops in that town, but everyone was telling me, no, you gotta come. And the pizza isn't that good here. You really do need to come. We love your pizza. And so that's what I did. I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance and I'm gonna work on it and I'm gonna do it. So I bought the building, and once again, as most everything else, when you buy something, I think, and it's gonna cost this much money to open up the pizza shop, and it was more than double that. Ran into some issues with the building department. I needed to change some plumbing. It was very, very expensive. It was delay after delay after delay trying to open up Wildcat Pizza. But one of the good things is that along the way, my friend Rob, he would help me out. We would go into the pizza shop. We'd be working in there. We got to spend a lot of quality time together. Another thing that happened is that now my interests are divided. My time isn't always at Monarch Pizza. Now it's at Wildcat Pizza and at Monarch Pizza. And so now I'm being divided again, and there's another set of bills that need to be paid. So I have, the home, Monarch Pizza, and Wildcat Pizza, and things got to be more and more complex, and there was more and more stress. And sure, it was fun, and it seemed to be rewarding to open up another pizza shop, but it sure is a lot of work too. And once again, not getting paid, paying the mortgage while we're not open, while these delays happen, was a big strain on the finances and on personal relationships, and on family relationships. And so, there was a price to be paid along the way. Along the way, I ended up going through a divorce, and we had some issues with a couple of the kids, and it probably was something to do with the fact that I wasn't home very much. And those are some things that I tried to build on with the kids. Was I want to build something for them to have someday that was going to be worth something. And so that's what I wanted to do, was continue to increase our ability to do that, to grow, and to allow the kids to learn how to open up a business, how to run a business. And I think that we succeeded, and I succeeded in that area, but I failed in a lot of others. And so I'm here to admit my failures and my successes. So success was their second pizza shop opened up, and it was probably the best decision I've made. Because it was extremely busy, and it still is today. It is our best pizza shop. Seems to have the best pizza, and I think every single pizza shop has a little bit of different taste to it, because every single pizza shop has different water, and that has a lot of effect on pizza dough. And so, for some reason, Richwood is our busiest pizza shop, and a lot of people say that it's our best pizza crust. And we went probably 4 years until my son, Miles, he started helping me out. Here within the last 3 years, we went from 2 pizza shops to 4 pizza shops. And so how that happened this last 18 months was Little Tony's became available in Marysville. And I said, no way, I'm not gonna do it. There's no way that I wanna compete with myself in the same town. They're on completely opposite ends of the town. But I did like a lot of things about the Little Tony's location. The dining room was so much bigger and so much better than anything we've had before. And that's one of the things that supported our why, is to be involved in the community. And that is one of the places that allows that to happen, is because we have such a big dining room. Larger teams can come in. We have a meeting room people can come and use. It's one of the things that I think gathers people together. That was one of the things that Little Tony's offered, was both space and food, and it also supported what mission I'm trying to accomplish, which is to serve pizza and serve the community and people. So I told Miles then, I said, I'm not going to do this unless you're going to be right there beside me, because I can't take on a third pizza shop by myself. And he said, yep, I'll be there. I'll be there for you. So we took that on. We took on Little Tony's Pizzeria. And so after Little Tony's was open, big dining room, challenges that we've never had before. We have a lunch buffet there, dining room. It was a learning experience. We failed a lot of people in the beginning because we weren't ready for it. We've never done it before. We didn't have enough people working the lunch buffet because we were so busy a lot of the time. And then we decided to change the name to Dawson's Pizzeria. In the middle of all of that came this place here, Pioneer Pizza, in Plain City. It was another failing business. Pizza Villa was here, and I really liked and loved Plain City. I lived here about 25 years ago, loved the town, wanted to come back, and I've been waiting for the right opportunity, and it came along. And unfortunately, though, it came along within 3 months of opening up Little Tony's Pizzeria. So we went from 1 to 4, almost feels like overnight. And what happens then? But another opportunity comes in front of me, and it becomes Panther Pizza in Milford Center. A building comes available, and I can't turn it down. It's the price for the building was so low that it was something that only made sense. So now we have 5 locations. What am I gonna do? So we decided we had to close Monarch Pizza down. The old Kroger moved, and so that plaza where Monarch Pizza was, it just didn't make sense to stay in business there any longer. So we moved Monarch Pizza into Little Tony's location and operated both of those businesses out of one building. And that's when we decided to change the name of Little Tony's to Dawson's Pizzeria. And underneath Dawson's Pizzeria sign, it says home of the original Monarch Pizza, because in my heart of hearts, Dawson's Pizzeria is the larger of the group. It's Dawson's Pizzeria Group, and that's Monarch Pizza, and we have Wildcat Pizza, and we have Pioneer Pizza, and we have Panther Pizza now. So we went from 5 back down to 4, and you know, that was a great consolidation in Marysville, because we had Monarch Pizza, which was doing okay. Little Tony's was doing okay. But when we combined both of the businesses together, they're doing great together. It was a lot of work. The good thing was that we had all the procedures and everything in place from Monarch Pizza, from the original pizza shop. We were able to duplicate everything we did. And each time I open a pizza shop, it becomes easier and easier to open up a new one, because we've already been through a lot of the mistakes that we made at Monarch Pizza. I was able to capitalize on them and improve upon them. In Milford Center and Richwood and in Plain City, those towns are smaller and they have their own challenges. It's not all glamour, and it's not easy. There's many months that I don't get paid, that my employees get paid, that I don't get paid, that I have to move money from my personal account over into the business account to make payroll. And that's just how the business goes. Business is up and down. There's no predictability of it. That's the great advantage of having a paycheck from someplace. And it's not for everybody. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Owning a restaurant is gotta be the most difficult thing to do, because you have so many different customers, and pizza and food is not an easy business. You know, I tell my kids all the time that, you know, if you can get it right in the restaurant business, you can do anything. You can do anything that you want, because if you can please most of the people, and you can learn how to deal with customers and learn how to deal with disappointment and overcome all of those things, then you're gonna be a step up in life. Whether you do or you don't want to eventually run the pizza shop when I'm gone, that's its own thing, but it's very, very difficult to run a business and make a business thrive. And one of the other challenges that I have with now having almost 70 employees is, how do I get my vision and my ideas of the pizza business out to all of those employees. And one of those ways is, just recently we had a big team meeting with everyone involved. And I just want to continue to teach the young people because these are first-time jobs for most of the people. And I want them to know what it's like to have a real job, because I've had a real job at Honda. And I want them to know, and I don't want them to think that, not show up to work or show up to work late. I try to teach them real skills. Because, all of the kids that are working in the communities, I'm trying to give them opportunities to know what life is about and to give them real expectations. I want my employees to model Chick-fil-A and the way that they operate their business, because I've never been to a Chick-fil-A that isn't excellent customer service. And that's what I want out of all of my people. And it doesn't always happen. We're not perfect. We're not perfect people. The biggest thing is our tagline is now going to be, we are not just serving pizza, that we're serving our community and serving customers. Miles's tagline was always, we're in the people business, not just the pizza business. My new thing is that we are not just serving pizza, we're serving people, and we're serving the community, and we're serving our children. And we are employing 70 people that are dependent on the income, and we really do. And one of the other things that we have on our windows now is that we are an independent pizzeria. The money that you spend at our pizza shop stay right here in the communities in which we're in business. They don't go to some corporation. They stay right here, and I try to invest back in every school, every church, any large group. I discount their pizza, and I want to be involved. I want to be a part of that, and in any way I can help. If it takes a burden off of an organization or someone that's trying to organize an event, I want to be there. I want to take that part of their worry and their burden away from them, and I'll take care of the food. I'll take care of that. You worry about the event that you're trying to put on. I'm passionate about people and bringing families and communities together. That's the most important thing to me. Hopefully we can do that with pizza.